they'll let you go deeper on the right side to start with. Now I've built a trust. Now if they're left-handed, then that's a handicap. Okay, and I'm not suggesting starting on the left side if you're left-handed, okay, because there's other reasons for it. But it most definitely lets you in deeper if they're right-handed on the right side. And then you go to the left side and do the left side. And be aware that if they are right-handed, they might be a little bit more sensitive on the left side. So don't assume you're going to be able to use the same pressure.
Isn't also chi moves clockwise?
Yes.
Right hand.
Yeah. Yeah. So, well, I'm not sure. Actually, in doing this, there's a way to do that, and I'll cover this now. It's a good point. There's a way to do this on a very small person without using your forearm. And if you're not going to use your forearm, what you're going to do is use your palm right here, okay? And sometimes even fingers. And you're going to do. I use this mainly. But I rock from one spot to another and end here and then replace that and rock down. In the direction I'm going, this here is clockwise because the spine comes up here and we're going clockwise this way. Okay? On this side, we would go counterclockwise. So always away from the spine at the top, like this. Much like the Earth, I guess. It reminded me of, I was just at the equator, and we had this sink, and we placed a sink on the equator line, and put petals of flowers in it, and pulled the plug, and all the petals went down the sink, right on the equator line. Moved the sink over to one side, and put a bunch of petals in it, and pulled the plug, and they all went down like this way. And moved it on the other side, and they went down the other way. And then there's signs all over saying no pissoli, because people figured out, the guys figured out, when they take a leak, it comes out one direction on one side of the line, and the other direction on the other side. Right? So I said, why did these engineers get these statues put up for them? They got all these big statues because they surveyed it, these surveyors, and they found this line. And geez, all they had to do is whip it out and walk around the TV and get it on the equator line, you know? Well, how come it became so famous? Anyway. So anyway, this reminds me of it. This is like, we know there's chi, we know it works, and that's through trial and error. And we all have the advantage of that now. Okay, so now you know how to do this quadrant. I think it's about time for a break and to finish up your notes and see if you have any questions for this. Then we'll do we'll skip this quadrant because we know how to do that, and we'll go to this quadrant, right after break. Okay, so we have some chai and some stuff. I don't know. What'd you get?
There's some cookies we put it downstairs.
Okay, so 10-15 minutes, back up.
Want me to change it, replace it?
That's all right.
right.
Okay, now
Just let her copy afterwards.
Now because we worked on this quadrant here,
Turn around.
and then we go and work on the other side. Then we move straight to the left on the left side. Right? So I'm gonna get you to turn around.
Go do that.
Okay. Now, once again, I repeat, you want to get this done in 45 minutes. So you're going to be moving at a steady, not a fast pace, but a steady pace. And I'm not moving it All right, after you finish the hand, you come up and you start, you put your oil on, and we'll get in more into that as when we are actually doing hands-on. Okay? Elbow. We start on the back here, on the leg, and we're going to get pressure up. And we want to bring this leg up. And another thing, you want to support a little bit, put a little towel or something, or a little pillow or something under their feet. I didn't mention, a lot of people, this is really uncomfortable. Some people it's real comfortable. But there's a lot of people that you need to get a little support here. Just a pillow or something under their feet. Yes. But in any case, you want to get this up and relieve a little pressure here before you start massaging here. Okay. So you're going to work all the way down here, breaking this down, and then you're going to slide up real heavy, real heavy. And, I mean, you know, again, you're right at that edge. If you want to move as much blood as possible. Here.
Does it matter what side you start on?
We started over there, we went to here, now we're over on the left side. Okay? Ended up here 3 times. Okay? Then, this is going to be much more sensitive out here. There's a lot of nerves out here. So we're going to do the same thing on the outside here. Break it up. And down here, you're going to find it's going to take much less pressure before they're going to start complaining, tapping out. Then rub it up. So we're going to surface this way, this surface here, and now we want to get this quarter right here, this corner. Okay? And that's how you're dealing with it. One surface this way, one surface this way, and now at this angle. And then up. And you do those 3 times. Then you have surface here, this way, and I support it with this hand. And then rub it up really deep. And then that leaves this quarter right here, so you have to come in at this angle here. And then up real deep. So you do three runs on each one. Now, this time, I'm going to take my fingers and I reach underneath. Oh, first of all, this is something that pushing this way and then just drawing. This is just kind of a thing to get them used to the idea that now you're going to their knee, okay? Back of their leg. You want to warm up the back of the knee. And then massage the sides. Then one of these. Here, just kind of a stretch. Then back. Then reach underneath. And you're going to put your fingers on the your shin bone, outer, okay, tibia, and tibia, which is the biggest bone in front, shin bone, okay, and on the outside,
But ear bones is square.
Mine's square, mine are like eye beams, okay? They got flat bones. On the outside, you're running down this line right here, this muscle right here. And you're doing it from under this way up. And you're like breaking up. Feel that, right? You can use both these numbers. All the way up. Follow that line all the way up to the ankle right here, right there. Huh? All the way up. You're working that to there. Then you reach, after you've done that 3 times, you reach through and you clamp on the inside this way. And then work it down. And, well, I don't know, did I say rub hard coming down? Back? It's the same thing. We're breaking it down, breaking it up, and then rubbing hard coming back. Right. So up, hard back. Same thing on the other side, only we're not quite as deep, we're more at the base of this muscle. Like putting your fingers underneath it. And you work it up to here. And these are important moves, especially when you get down into the ankle area here. You're hitting some points that are real important. So digitize them really good, get some good pressure on them, then rub them back. Okay. Then take your thumb and isolate this muscle here. And I use this all the way up. Breaking up blockages here. Now, you can use your whole forearm to do this, okay, on this, but I don't find it as effective. I like to get this and get a hold of it and get some pressure underneath of it and try to like rip this muscle up a little bit. And then hit these points. And these might be real sensitive on some people.
Maybe even feel like you're pulling the muscle
And then stretch. After you've done that 3 times, then stretch it this way. Then we're going to make sure the leg's nice and supported this way, we're going to go right down the center. And as you come, when you start on a bigger muscle, as you work down to it where it's tapering down to be a smaller muscle group, move from here to here on your arm. So I move out now. By the time I get down by the ankle, now I'm starting to use this part of my arm to break it up. Okay? So then when I slide back, I'll start here and slide, and by the time I get through, I'm up on here, going really deep. So I don't have a real pointed one coming in. That's more comfortable for me. So we do 3 of those. So we're going down this way, breaking it all up, pulling the muscle up, isolating it. I kind of think of it as isolating the muscle, stretching it out, and then we're breaking it up, back real deep. Breaking it up, back real deep. The last time you come back on it, the 3rd time, you can stop right in the center, right here. You'll find a point. And she's tapping a little bit, okay? Now, don't overdo this, but you need to hit this point good, and then up and all the way. That finishes that. From there to there.
Okay, so
And-
Last part after the point?
Well, the last deep one, the third one, you're coming up, and you're finished with this whole group, okay? I stopped to this point, okay? And just put a little pressure on it. Right there. And the muscles V out here, there's a little V right here. That's the Ashinata technique, okay? And that technique is that nerve right there.
Is working.
Yeah. And of course, you don't want to get on this and really pound it, or you don't want to break any blood vessels or anything in there. We know what happens there. We had a student who felt no pain, and so the person doing the technique did a little bit extra. And the guy never did tap out after class. He says, you know, my leg is starting to hurt. And fortunately, he lived here. We watched TV so within the next 2 hours, he went to bed, and I just got worried about him. And I went in and I says, how are you feeling? He said, my leg is really killing me. And I said, let me see it. And it was all swollen up. I said, let's go to the hospital. Went to the hospital, and the doctor says, another hour, 2 hours at the most, it would have to amputate it. So, because there's compartments in here, and if you break it and it bleeds in there, it cuts off the circulation to the rest of the leg. And they thought we had a guy that had a truck ran over him, and it wasn't this bad. And so they called the police. They thought we were abusing him. Well, the guy was like 6'4", 240 pounds. You know, I mean, so who's abusing him? So anyway, now we're at the ankle, and we're going to stretch that good and do some circles with it. Support it very, very good, and then you're going to use both hands. You clasp your hands together, and you want to put a lot of pressure on both sides of the heel like this. 1, 2, 3. And that's pressure this way. Okay? Then you support it from underneath and put pressure on the back of the heel, right down to the center of the heel, down to the inside of the heel, right to there. Then we're going to take our elbow and place here and chop it, put pressure on it. And then pressure right at the ball, right behind the toes, right here. So this slides in and puts it right there. Now this is equivalent to what we were doing to the palm, remember? Make a little circle. You're going to find this twisting of the hand, the rotating of the forearm, you're going to be using this more and more and more when you develop your own technique. As you're doing a lot of these things, you'll be turning this way, and you'll find some extra movements there you're going to be able to get. I'm just showing you the straight chopping and smoothing. There's a lot of, and you'll feel it here, how you can move in deeper with your elbow by using your hand motion, and how it manipulates the bones to the elbow. Okay? Then, flat across the base of the toes, upper pads.
Doesn't that also release energy?
Yeah. Then, remember what we did on the palm of the hand. We're gonna get these between these tendons and come down between the fingers. So we're following these tendons from the upper ankle all the way down and coming out here and stretching the toes apart. Follow the tendons all the way down, stretching toes apart. And you can switch hands. So you've gone down every tendon of every toe. And we basically do the same thing we did with the feet. We go on both sides of the big toe, curl out the end, kind of pinch right at the end there, then reach up, work it down, boom. Okay, then we move over and we do this leg, right? Okay, now there's some adjustments you can do on the Japanese manipulation, we call it, on the back and the hips as you turn them over. Right now, I wasn't going to cover that, but I'll show you if you want. I'm not recommending you do this because it takes a real feel for what you're doing. Now, I will show you. I start here. If she's looking that way, this hand, the fingers point that way. And it's like shaking it right here. Hand here. Okay. Then you turn the head the other way. Okay, that's okay. Now, what I want to try and do here is I want to try and stretch this way. So this hand goes this way, this hand goes this way. So this is going this way, this is going this way. Big breath in, all the way out and relax. You never force it. Okay. Other side, you can use your, turn your head to the other side. You can also use your hands this way, big breath in, all the way out. Okay. And that's just a minor little adjustment. You don't use a lot of pressure, just very lightly. Then when I put this arm up,
It has to be after
roll
a
over on the
massage,
side.
right?
We'll bend this leg. Now, depending upon this angle of what part of the back you're going to get, but for right now, I'll just show you the basic move. Here, and right, so you keep it kind of straight, lined up this way. And you just rock them back and forth this way. Big breath in, all the way out. Now this angle here of this leg is where this is pushing down that leg, and this parallels it this way. But you don't want to crank it. You have to get them balanced and just let it do it on its own. Okay? Use their own body weight. There's other ways where you can get up here and you don't want to do that right now. Okay, over on the other side. Wow.
Finding things.
Here. Here, and then look this way. Now this is doing it from the other side, see? Now somebody might go over to the other side of it. You do it from this side. I pull with the arm down this leg that time. This time, my palm here and my elbow on her shoulder, rock it back and forth. This one goes this way, this one pulls back to parallel. Big breath in, all the way up. Okay, right on your back. You all right?
Fight. Fight the good fight.
Okay. Then there's a hip replacement thing that you can do, or adjustment, where you put pressure on it. Put pressure on it here. And then we take and feel it. Where is it at? And I can pretty well tell if it's out or something. I can tell at this point. You'll learn to be able to do that. Something. This isn't part of the massage. Okay. All right, now. Okay, so now we're going to start. Again, we're going to be back over this side. We'll end up on this side. You want to be on the left side. Roll over, start on the left side, and you're going to start. There's up. Excuse me. Here. Okay. Flipped over. We just worked on the right leg, so we do this leg and then we do this leg. Right, the front, just the front. And it's a chopping again. Boom, 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 boom. Down. You do the outside. Boom, 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 boom. Up. So that's the second time you've done that, because you did it when she was on her tummy. So you're overlapping on this outside. Then we do this corner. Three times. Same thing on the inside. We're going to go straight up. We can use, or you can do this. And then up. So you do the same muscle group the same way we did the back. You do the front. And you're going to be overlapping a little bit here and overlapping a little bit here. This is a pretty big muscle group. Okay? Now, that takes us to the stomach. And this is a really important one. This is a digestive tract massage. And you want to do this counterclockwise rather than clockwise. You're going to start with your elbow. Of course, you want oil. You can start with your elbow.
Can you maybe do it from the other side? Change your head direction?
Well, I want you to work, switch the other side. I want you to work off the left side. And you're going to go counterclockwise. You lose something?
Yeah, the same way that's true. Silver.
You're going to start on the left side, and you want to make sure that they're not real sensitive. I mean, if any time that there's pain, you can check it out, particularly on a woman. If she has an ovary that's inflamed or something like that. If you push and it's a little uncomfortable and you release it real quick, and it becomes more uncomfortable for a second, there's something wrong. So I don't want you to massage in it, all right? But if they seem to be normal and there's no real problem, right here at the top of the hip, you move in. Here's the top of the hip here. You move it in the spot here. Are you ticklish?
Yeah.
And you just set your elbow in there. Light pressure. Relax. And you want to make clockwise movements. Now we're going counterclockwise. So get this right. You're starting on the left corner, upper part of the hip, inside. And you're doing clockwise movements with the elbow. Is that uncomfortable? You're right. It was too high. Clockwise movements, and then you move counterclockwise. Wow. To right between the short ribs and the spot that you were at, right here. So there's 3 spots here. You want to hit here, right inside the hip. You want to hit here and right under the short ribs. This is the next spot, and you want to move clockwise and go as deep as they'll let you. Then move up to the 3rd spot. We start here, here, and right under the short ribs. Rib cage.
Towards the middle of the abdomen,
Yep. There's the
sternum.
ribs right there. You want to get right under them, right here. Deep. And go clockwise. Then you take it right at solar plex. Now be careful not to get it too high. There's a little bone hangs down here. Yeah, xiphoid process. If you break that off, they're not going to like you. Plus, they have to go to the hospital. Plus, it's very, very dangerous. Kill them. Okay. That's one of our vital points we strike if we're in a fight. Okay. We want to do the guy in. So you come right below that. Right below that, and just do light clockwise motion.
What's the 3rd spot, right?
No, that's the 4th spot.
Oh, okay.
1, 2, 3, and then you're on a center line. 4. Okay? Right on the this is the conception vessel that runs from here up completely around the front, and then that turns into a governing vessel up the spine. All right, now you move to the next spot, which is equal to the spot you were on over here underneath the ribs. And on this one, you want to go counterclockwise. Remember this is a center line. I remember on the back, we were coming up out of the back this way, but we're coming up out this way. So you can draw your circle. So if you're on this side, you're going clockwise, and if you're on this side, you're going counterclockwise.
After the hip point, or
After the center line point. The center line point, it really doesn't matter which way you go. The main thing you want to do is get deep. Okay. You spend a little bit more time on it. Okazaki used to ask people, well, how far away do you live? And then he'd adjust his treatment accordingly, so you had time to get home. And one of the students admitted that he was constipated, and Okazaki said, well, how long did it take you to get home? He told him, and he said, okay. But then he stopped and talked to a friend for 10, 15 minutes, and he didn't make it home. It was really very strong.
The right side, you're going counterclockwise?
Yeah. from the center line, always, whether they're on their stomach or on their back. It's like a fountain that goes up and out. Up and out this way. So this would be clockwise, this would be clockwise, and this would be counterclockwise on this side. Okay? So we're hitting after the center point, we're hitting over here, and we're hitting over here. And then we're coming inside the hip here and hitting here. And then we hit the center line last right here. Now we do that 3 times. And then the last time we move up at the belly belly button. And you go deep, deep, deep. And now it's becoming uncomfortable for them. And then you go counterclockwise. And they really don't like you at this point. Right?
She's still smiling.
Counterclockwise. And you go a little bit and you work your way down it and a little bit deep. Work it down. Boom. And then that's it. If you want to just like hope they're not mad at you, you can rub it like that afterwards.
Make a wish.
Yeah. Okay?
So
Now-
the belly button, you do it clockwise 3 times with the pressure, and then counterclockwise 3 times with the pressure? Just clockwise?
Counterclockwise. The belly button. Deep, very, very deep.
At the
At the belly button. Very, very deep. I mean, Prof Fisher says, go clear to their spine. Oh, yeah. We have your friends left, you know.
Counterclockwise?
So you do it around like that, one round, right?
3 times you go around.
Oh, you go around
3 times you go around, and then you do the belly button 3 times.
Okay.
You don't stop and do the belly button every time you go around. You go around 3 times. 3 times, and you're hitting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. Now we cross the arms, and we're going to work. We're back in the armpit now. We're just going to squeeze these right here. Bring your thumbs up, and you're going to walk up the center line, up their sternum, okay? Paying attention to any spots that might be sore. And then you're going to grab their pexes and work the upper part of their pexes, right here. You just slope back down here, work here. So you're doing a circle this time, up and an out again. All right? And you know, you get clearly you're avoiding the breasts on a woman, and even a guy. There's no need to do that. You want pressure. You want to walk up the conception vessel, right? The sternum. And if there's any sore spots, you want to make a note of that. Okay. And you're moving out here. From here, you're moving out here, along here, boom, boom, and grabbing the muscle group right here, the plexus, right? Back in the armpit. So you want to do that 3 times. Then slip down the arms, bring the hands back to their side, and you're still maintaining contact. Move up their arms to their neck without losing contact. Now, hands are going to be motions like this to you. moving up the neck, and then you're at the base of the skull. Here, 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 here. Now at the base of the skull, it moves this way. So you're coming up. You're doing this, 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 and then this. Until you get right here with this finger, and you're going. It would be if you're looking at a clock this way, you'd be going clockwise, counterclockwise from that side. Right.
Oh, is there rain there?
Inward circles. Inward.
Well, it's right at the base. Now you've worked both hands. Now you're down with your right hand, right here, at the atlas. Okay, and if you were screwing in a bolt, you'd have to screw it in clockwise. So that's the direction. The middle finger is going in towards the atlas, and that's an important point to hit. And then you stop and hold pressure there for about 3 seconds, and then release it. All right, now, this is a point where I do an adjustment, but you guys won't be doing an adjustment. I'm going to finish up what I was doing. Wow. Been out last Sunday. Wow. Now, once you learn how to do this and learn the feel of it, the spine will feel like a chain. And if there's a link that's crooked, that's what it feels like to me. I can feel, I can check the lower back and all the way up. I'm checking them all the way up. And if I feel one that's out, then I can work on that one. Boom, and get that one. But that's just information for you. Don't try it. Okay. Now, once I've had that, then I'm going to start up here, and I'm going to pull, just gently pull my thumbs across, and once I get to this point, right at the base of where the eyebrow stops, then slide to the front of the ear, or right in the top part of the ear, okay? And push in front of the ear down to the neck, okay? So I'm going to do that 3 times here. Depending upon how much oil you have. Okay, so you're coming down here and back here again. And we're headed back to the same spot again that we were pushing. Down here, front of the ear, and down. Now we're not going all the way to the atlas, we're just taking it to here. Then the next move is pressure to the ridge. There's a ridge here that goes right behind the ear. Ridge right here. You can feel the temple, the upper, what most people think of as the temple is this little depression here. It's not the temple. That's not the temporal bone. The one we break in martial arts is above the ear. It's a bone, this temporal bone right here. If you break it here, they're finished. And this bone is thin enough you can hold up and see light through it. But it's this indentation right here. Well, just above that, there's like a ridge that goes along here. And you want to be right on that ridge, putting pressure, and you can do one side or both sides at the same time. All the way down, and you're meeting up where the one that came in front came. You get that? See that? So this comes here, and down here. The other one was from here and in front. And they join right here. Okay? And
This
then
is
you
where the
bring it
nerve
around to
point
the
is?
atlas. So the second move, I'm stopping right here, and I can feel this specific ridge that goes down here and behind the ear, meeting up with where this one had come, right there. Then taking both of them back to the atlas again and pushing that spot right here again. Okay. Here. So that's two definite lines. This line here, in front of the ear to here, and then from here behind the ear. Then we take the center line, and this is the governing vessel, and we put pressure, just digitized pressure all the way down, and you're going to take note if there's any sore spots on this, all the way down the center line, all the way across the top of the head. Reach under, then you have to switch from a thumb to your fingers, reach underneath, and you're headed back down to that one spot, which is the atlas again, here.
Third time.
Hmm?
It's the third time you go back there.
This is the third time you go back there, and you do this 3 times, you do each one of those 3 times. Okay? There's a lot of facial stuff you can do too, but if there are additional things to the lifelong massage, you don't want to spend more than 45 minutes doing this. You know, Kazaki was quite clear on if, how, and you know why that's so. You're just losing ground of circulation. Part of what you're doing is increasing circulation and getting the key flow, the chi flow. After 45 minutes of laying on a table, and actually it's not 45 minutes, less than that. You have to move them when we turn them over on the side and flip them over on their back. You're already max time on their stomach. So half the time, so half of 45 minutes basically, you have to get them moved. The more you move them around as you're doing this, the better you keep them going. Now, with your left middle finger on the base of the neck, you then come up with your thumb on the top of the head, and there's a spot that's a little bit hollow there. It's where the skull grew together. Well, where it wasn't together when you were a baby. Okay? And you press that. You hit that, hold it for 3 seconds, release it slowly. Press that, hold it for 3 seconds, release it slowly. And, pardon? With your thumb, yeah. What's going to happen, if the person has high blood pressure, it's going to take it down. If they don't, it's not going to do anything. But feel good. Okay. Now, I'll show you the next part, just because it's not what I was taught, but it's because Okazaki's son and his grandson did it. And you then sit the person up, sit up, and you use your knuckles this way and do this. I don't know, did you like that?
No.
I didn't like it either. Okay, so that's probably why Estes didn't teach it. Estes never taught that. And he was through and did the eyes, did the neck, that was it. Right? Then you get them up and get them moving.
Can you show the point again? The last point you were on your head, so we can see.
On my head?
Or here.
Yeah.
You have less.
It's the soft spot that babies have. You haven't had children.
No, not yet.
It's right there. I feel like the spot?
Yeah.
So it's like right the center of the
Yeah,
head.
you'll feel a slight indentation. Okay?
Okay.
What did you do with left middle finger? While you were doing that?
What did I do with my left middle finger when I was making?
It's not on top of the soft spot, you have the sick as a left middle finger doing it.
Oh, well, the left middle finger, yeah. That's just holding, putting pressure, putting
Support.
digitized pressure right at that indentation right there, right at the base of the skull. Okay? That's what everything's ran to. Now, there's one other thing I'll show you that, go ahead and lay down. There's a Kappo for headache. Now, Kappo is a restoration technique. And as those of you who know, study the martial arts here, know that we have some techniques for restarting somebody's heart or getting it out of fibrillation back into pumping correctly, stopping nosebleeds, stopping headaches, and all this. And this stuff works really well. One of the techniques for a headache, migraine even, is to place the hand, and the finger was in the back of the skull. This is just the whole hand is cut, whole base of the skull. You use the flat part of your arm and you put pressure. Is actually you can feel the skull compressing, and you will compress the skull. And then release it. Pardon?
That's scary.
Yeah, it's scary. You can feel the skull compress. So you do 3 of those. You take it down, you hold it for about 9 seconds, and release it very, very slow.
My mom used to do that to me.
You do that 3 times. Then the next thing is you put your knees at their shoulder tips. Make sure they haven't got earrings on. And you run your chi, your energy, and you create this clockwise energy surge. But you have to make the connection first. So you compress the skull to make the compression. The deeper you are up here, the more powerful it is. And when you flex the muscles of your legs and push in here, it'll actually compress the skull. It's pretty freaky to the person you're doing it to. You hold it like 3 seconds and release very, very slowly. It's amazing how to get rid of a headache. Okay? Is that kind of strange? Yeah. Yeah, people aren't used to feeling their brain massaged. This is a brain massage. Okay? And you don't want to do this more than, once a week or so. Okay? One other quick thing, just because I've used it. This technique, I'll show this technique because we got people here that don't study. I think this is worth knowing. We saved a guy's life who was drowned, and they couldn't revive him, and we revived him with this. And I also had a family member who the doctors pronounced dead. I walked in and started his heart. And the doctors thought we were from another planet. And this is the technique. This is the traditional way to do it. You bring this up, and you take this, and you, ouch, okay? I've never used that to revive somebody, but what I have used is the moon of the big toe right here. I can use my nail, but if you're doing it for real, you want to put a cloth over it and use your teeth. And if the person's heart stopped or it's fibrillating and they can't get it going, you bite right there, and it will start. It will start. I've had experience with it. One person, their heart kept stopping every hour. Their heart would stop, and the doctors would do all the CPR and everything, boom, 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 try to paddles, pronounce the guy dead. Boom, I started again. So it works. Only on the left toe. The right side's for adjusting breathing. Now, what we should probably do is, the only way you're going to retain this is hands-on. You're all right? You still getting a tingling up there? Okay. So we can take a break and then get towels out. Pick who's going to do who first. And I'd like everyone to be able to do the massage and receive the massage. And I'm going to pop around and jump in and help you. Mainly for the person getting the massage. And then you can get feedback from the person giving it if it feels the same. Okay? Yeah.
Would that technique be used in place of CPR?
I would use it in place of CPR. I did CPR on my father once for 2.5 hours. Finally, they got it.
Travis is using your
So
Travis, you're using
that's another story. And I know this one. I like to know this. Yeah. There's another spot, another technique called seikatsu. I'll show you one more technique. I should show you. It means I've showed you the flow technique. That's seikatsu. Sit down. This is if somebody's unconscious. This is great for a drunk. We had a guy that was fell down out here, he was just drunk on his butt. And so we just set him, I tried to get him up, tried to get him walking. He walked, so we set him up and did this technique. Man, he was like sober. And it sobered him up for about enough to get him out of there. And then he started staggering again after. But what this is if a person's unconscious, you get them in this position. There's a way to do that. Set them up, get their legs crossed, and sometimes it's good to do this. Hold them up if they're falling over. But if you got them balanced good, you'd be surprised. A person can just sit there. And as a matter of fact, they found monks this way, dead. Their meditation, it's time for them to pass on to the next world, and there they are, just sitting anza. At the armpit, right here, there's the vertebrae. There's one between the vertebrae. Just imagine that there's a hole there. I won't get into detail what's going on here. But you want to put compressed air right there. And you want to compress the air and pop up and yell at the back of their head at the same time. This way. No more than about 3 on someone. And if you practice this way, it's not this. It's compressed air and bouncing up here. And that will relax them. That's called seikatsu. And one more. Lukikatsu. Here, we reinforce these, and I'm not really going to do this to her because I'm not mean enough. But you drive this as if you want to hit their heart, and you drive deep and in here, and you really do it. So there's 3 ways to actually will take a heart out of that's fibrillating, defib the heart, and that's the most effective though. If a person just choked out, unconscious, the seikatsu, the last one.
Put on my dog. My dog.
Your dog. Oh yeah, Ito has a story to tell about this. He learned this technique with seikatsu.
Seikatsu, yeah.
Seikatsu on the back. He learned this technique, and it will revive a heart attack patient. And then he went back to Israel. Well, from what I understand, they have like a 16-year-old dog, and his mother was gone for a while, and she came home, and the dog was so excited, it had a heart attack, and he tried to revive it, and the dog was dead, and he set it up and did seikatsu and revived it.
I actually left him on the floor, and I just did 3 times. After the 3rd key, he he started breathing by himself and slowly got up. But he was completely paralyzed before.
So, anyway,